up guys, it's Matthew again, back again with another vlog. So for today's vlog, let's talk about communication and the barriers that affect the communication. But first, what is communication? Communication is a process or an act of conveying meanings from one group to another, with the use of different kinds of understanding, such as signs, symbols, or even rules. Meaning to say, everybody needs communication because it is everywhere and always be part of our lives. So today, I'm going to share and give ideas on what are the different kinds of communication barriers. Let's go. Communication barriers. In accordance to Kung Bakuna in the year 2016, a communication barrier is anything that interfered the connection from receiving and understanding the messages from the speaker. Also, from the word itself, barrier. Barrier means to prevent, block, or interfere the flow of communication. So I have these 7 kinds of communication barriers, and let's proceed to the first one. Physical barriers. Physical barriers are barriers that is natural and environmental. There. Oops. I repeat. Physical barriers. Physical barriers are something that is natural and environmental, which affects the flow of communication. Like that again. Well, some of the examples of the physical barriers is that kind of background music, notifications, some noises from roosters, dogs, and even the neighbors shouting out there. And yeah, that's it. Number 2. Number 2. Psychological barriers. Psychological barriers, also known as the mental barriers, is a kind of interference in which it involves personal issues or mental problems of oneself. One of the most common kind of psychological barrier, especially on school or recitation, is the shyness and the lack of confidence. And for overall, nowadays there are various people or more people getting the kind of anxiety and depression in different kinds of situation they are going through right now. And yeah, that's psychological barriers. Number 3, cultural barriers. From the word itself, culture, it pertains to the kind of communication problem regarding to the beliefs, intrinsic values, and their perception in terms of tradition. And one of the example that I can give is the dress codes. In terms of dress code, Muslim has different kind of dress code. If they interact with Catholic or any kind of religion, they need to wear that kind of outfit because it defines them with their religion and their culture in their life. That's the kind of example for cultural barriers along with traditions, beliefs, etc. Cultural barriers. Number 4, linguistic barriers. Linguistic barriers, also known as languages. It is the words, it is the accent, It is the way they communicate with their oral or verbal words. Meaning to say, in this kind of barrier, we have different kinds of perception and different kinds of understanding in a word. There are some tendencies that we encountered misunderstanding because of the words we use. And an example for that is the accent, jargon, and slang. In accent, there are British accent and there are also English accent. If they act to each other, they have different kinds of language or words they use in a certain object. For an example, toilet. Toilet for English, loo for British. Yeah, that's kind of language and a linguistic barrier. Next to the line is Next to the line is the number 5 and the number 6 barrier, which are the external barriers and the internal barriers. First is the external. It involves some sight or stimuli that draws the attention or distract the speaker from what he's or her saying. An example for that is noises from the neighborhood. That one again. Some notifications again. Some vehicles, noises from the outside. Also, the visual aids from the classroom or some presentations. On the other hand is the internal barriers. In the internal barriers, it is the kind of interference that involves the thoughts and the feelings of the speaker. Meaning to say, it is also socially or self-involved about the thoughts and the expression of oneself that is also considered in the psychological barriers. For the example is, an example for that is the timidness or the being modest in terms of recitation in classes, some racial prejudice, and the feelings that you cannot express through your friends or other person. And yeah, that's the both external and internal barrier. Last but not the least is the number 7, which is the semantic noises. For the semantic noises, this is an alternate meaning or alternate word aroused by the speaker's symbol. In other words, this is kind of conversation or a word used by a speaker that has a different impact or a different understanding from the students or other people that may result to misconception or misunderstanding by the listeners. Giving an example is some idiomatic expressions or grammar, wrong grammars, or even the jargons and some slang words. For the other example, specifically to the idiomatic expression, is about this sentence, which means mentally agile, mentally prepared, and fully aware from her surroundings. For this one, the sentence is, my grandmother is 95-year-old woman, but still she is as sharp as a tack. That's an example of idiomatic expression, which is involved with the semantic noises. That's it. Thank you so much for listening to my vlog again. And I hope you see you on my next vlog. Peace out and have a great night, everybody. Bye.